Ladies
All
and
right.
gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Recap and Record. My name's Levi. I'm here with my co-host Los. It's a snow day. It's week 2 of A Night in the Seven Kingdoms Game of Thrones HBO series, brand new episode 2 this week. The name of the episode is salted salted, something about salted beef. I don't know why it was titled that. It's something to do with it.
Yeah.
But that's the show, man. So, like our episode last week, we're gonna dive into some industry news. I've got some George R. R. Martin stuff, some things we need to clear up from last week's episode that either you or I might have said that we might have some new information on now, and just dive right in. So, first
Let's
of
do it.
all, you owe my boy Egg an apology. You came out.
Oh, I
You came
did.
out
I
with some
do. I
heat
do.
last week, trying to
I
say his
did.
bald cap looked terrible.
Yeah.
My dude was contractually obligated to shave his head. And
That's crazy.
I
That's
feel
crazy.
like
I didn't know I was fooled. Like, I don't know. It just looked a little too perfect and perfectly smooth. You know what I
Right.
mean, I guess he's like a young boy, but like, yeah, like he committed to that. Like, you know what I mean? So shout out to him. Shout out to the young boy for doing that. Egg.
Yeah. So apparently that was just part of the contract, and they said if whoever they hired, the kid had to shave his head. And apparently too, he was like the first kid that auditioned, and they said, "Yep, this is it." So he was a pretty instant fit, at least for the showrunners. And then the other bit of news, just some information that, of course, I found out as soon as we were done last week's episode. We kind of mentioned him briefly just because he had a brief moment in the very beginning, but the dreamer, the drunk in the pub, he has a name and he has a purpose, and we were pretty much essentially on the right path. His name is Prince Daeron Targaryen. He's another.
Oh, so he's
another-
Darren. So he's the king's son.
He's known as Daeron the Drunken. He was the first son of King Maker Targaryen and his
Maker.
wife, Lady Deanna Dane. And although he held the title of knight, Daeron was far better known for his alcoholism and reckless lifestyle than any Targaryen political stuff. And so basically he's a dragon dreamer, and he experiences cryptic dreams of future events that will then, obviously eventually come to fruition, which is why he drinks himself to sleep every night, because he's tired of the dreams and knowing the future and seeing the worst of things to happen, right?
Oh wow.
So
Yeah.
and that's kind of what we saw with I believe Helena in House of the Dragon.
Yes.
The dreamers are either kind of in this weird autistic kind of space, or they have to drown themselves in it to just kind of deal with knowing everything. I guess it's this weird like kind of curse, like a gift and a curse kind of situation.
Yeah. So wait up, like, all right. So his name is Darren. Is it like, do they have like a number after his name? Because all right, the king of A Night of Seven Kingdoms is Darren the second, right?
See. Okay, here's where I'm at. I have no clue.
Okay, because I
I
started diving into lore, and I was like,
Right.
so like that main guy that gave him approval, like he was the king, right?
No, so in tonight's episode, the guy who gave him approval is second in line. His name, I believe, is Baron Targaryen, and
No, Darren. His name is Darren.
Which one?
The one that gave him approval. His name is Darren Targaryen. Like, and then they showed like the picture of him. Like,
No,
he's not Darren the Good.
No, so the Targaryens that showed up in tonight's episode was the slick young boy on the horse. His name was Aerion Targaryen. Then the Targaryen that was in the battle, the jousting at the very end, his name was Valor Targaryen.
Okay.
And then the guy with the hand of the king, the hand of the king pin that gave Dunk approval to be in the tournament, his name was Baelor Targaryen.
Baelor.
And his brother sitting there, who knows?
That's Maekar.
That's Maekar, yeah.
All right, so Maekar, like, all right, so I think isn't Egg his son?
Well, okay, I don't know. Again, I don't
Like,
know.
and that's
but
the missing son. Like that's the son that's like not around. So all right, the king right now is is Darren the good, right? But that guy that gave him approval is not Darren. That's Baylor.
No, that's Baylor. Yeah, he's next
Yeah.
in line for the throne.
So the king currently though is Darren, Darren the good. Like,
Potential.
cause it's a lot of peace right now. Cause so when
Okay.
I look it up, it says, but my bad, because
Yeah.
when I look it up, they showed the picture of the guy. So I'm like, oh, he's Darren, but like, no, they're saying the person who's ruling during the Night in the Seven Kingdoms is Darren, known
Okay.
as Darren the Good, and it's a time of like peace. And so he is allegedly Egg's grandfather,
Okay.
right? Yeah, I mean, so and this is a king that we have not seen yet, right?
Okay.
So Makar, right? I believe is supposed to be Egg's father, and remember, Makar is missing a son.
Two of them, I think. Yeah, I think one
Yeah,
or two. Yeah.
and I believe that Egg is that son, and one of Makar's sons also is our man Maester Aemon. Yeah, I mean because
Right,
Egg
from
is
the
his
original.
little
Yeah, yeah,
brother.
yeah, right. Okay, okay. I think you're there,
I
and
think
we're
I think we're
gonna
there. I
and
think
I'm
we're
gonna
there.
yeah, and I'm gonna get to Egg when we
Yeah,
get into the
I made the
episode.
mistake of
It's,
associating Balar's picture with
yeah.
or whatever.
Well,
Like,
it's
'cause
that fam, and it's every now with every show, the Targaryen family tree is
it gets
it's a
yeah,
fucking whomping willow of just
yes,
legs and cousins and adults and people, and it is just
it's
I
crazy.
can't keep up with it.
It's
Okay,
crazy.
so last bit of news, and I just kind of wanted your opinion on this, and it's kind of what we touched on with Netflix and acquiring the series a little bit, but another George R. R. Martin interview came to light just kind of through this press kit, and basically I'm sure he's said this in the past, but I heard him recently saying that like. Yes, I know that like the Game of Thrones books, like Winds of Winter, still not done, right? We had to make stuff up
Yeah,
for the end of
yeah.
Game of Thrones. And now he was going to finish that. But now, because Dunk and Egg only have 3 published books, HBO is going to burn through that in the next 2 seasons. So he's already got another 12 books for them that he's going to go plan on writing,
What?
putting the Winds of Winter. The man is, it's never going to happen. And
Yeah,
so, but then,
how
right,
many books has he actually written? Like that.
I
That's what I
don't,
need. That's what I need to know. Like because is he really? Because is he pumping any books out?
not
You know what I
of no, not
mean?
of recently. He put all the books on hold to become the executive producer of Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon. Like there might have been 1 or 2 releases in there, but based on what I've seen, it's not like it's been. I think we've been waiting on the Winds of Winter to be finished for like 11 years now. Like that's
Oh
kind of
wow,
where the story ended. And so
that's
he
crazy.
came out in a recent interview and said with the Winds of Winter, obviously with the showrunners just going rogue at the end of Game of Thrones and doing the opposite of whatever he told them to do, he said when he's finished writing these books, it's not going to end how the show ended. So
Okay.
then to that I ask you, and just for the audience, because the two of us we're not book readers, right?
No, we're not that kind of book
So
readers.
like right. So like where like do you then feel like do you feel
I think I see where you're
like
coming. Where you're going.
I'm gonna be like just knowing that whether the book
Yes.
ever comes out or not, knowing that the author and creator of this entire franchise, this entire world, this entire series has a complete different 180 360 version of season potentially 6 7 and 8 of Game of Thrones
Yes.
compared to what we know and what we've seen. Well then is Netflix remaking it
Yes.
based on the
Yeah. I knew
book?
you were
Like, are
going there. I
we,
knew
is
you were
that
going there.
where, like, now we definitely need to see it
Well,
because,
yeah, yeah.
so
Now
it's,
it opens up that door, but the problem becomes,
then do we
okay,
just
all right,
dismiss what we already have with HBO? Like,
yes,
how do we work
yeah. Do
that
you have like?
in?
I feel like do you have to start all over? And I feel like that's a lot to start over. And then like there's
Right.
gonna be changes, and then people are gonna be critical of the changes. So like, and even if you tried to like erase 6, 7, and 8. Like, do you bring back all those actors? Like, are they even contractually?
It's,
Are they
yeah,
able to even? You know how? Because
right.
there's so many different
Non-competes with
loop.
HBO. Yeah, yeah,
Yes,
yeah, 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 yeah.
yes. And like and I thought I read something and it was just a headline. I didn't dig into it, but like there was something about how even after the merger, HBO Max is still gonna be a thing.
Right.
Like that's
Yeah,
what
yeah.
yeah. So like separate, but like the same.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Until one day it's not.
Like
Yeah.
it's like Jordan brand, like it's Nike, but like it's still Jordan brand.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean, like is
Right.
that what
Right.
Netflix is gonna be? It's like, all
Yeah,
right,
so I think that's rather interesting because you're right. Does that then constitute the exact timing and definition of just a reboot of the entire main line of the series? Like,
yeah,
and then, we've reboots have had, we've seen a new version of Batman every 5 years. Some of
yeah,
them are great, some of them aren't. So you know what I mean? Robert
yeah,
Pattinson and the other guy, Christopher Nolan's trilogy, that was great. Maybe some of
yeah.
the Ben Affleck stuff wasn't. Like, so yeah, I'd be curious to
Are we gonna
see.
start getting Game of Thrones movies? You know, instead, you know,
Well, and that's right. Yeah, it's all kind of up in the air, but I think that just ultimately
animated series.
with knowing that, right, which if as
Like
soon
if it goes
as
Star Wars, like
as
if
soon as they
this
go animated, right, Star Wars, I
is this
can't.
going Star Wars where we're getting like Clone
Mhm.
Wars, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? So we're
Mhm.
getting like you know, whatever other people's names are and
If
all
I
that. So
think if George R. R. Martin has anything to do with it, that's probably what he wants. I would imagine that that's what everyone in that
he wants to
realm
be George
wants to be.
Lucas.
Right,
Yeah, like
right.
yeah, like
Yep,
yeah.
yep. So I think with that, and so in the same breath, he said he still has The Winds of Winter, and I think another book from the game, like Dreams of Spring or something after that one for the main
Mm,
series. He said he has another 12 ideas for Duncan
come
Egg
on,
books.
man. Come
So
on.
so
Relax.
who knows? Just going back to our combo last week of like, should we only be doing completed IP? Like this whole giving us 3 seasons on a
Yep,
book that we're
yep,
gonna get 12 more of that could be another 12 years from now, like is I don't know. It's up in the air. It's
yep.
a very interesting business model.
Well, and then it seems like it, you know, it's not like, all right, for example, like Marvel, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like
yeah,
there's different writers that
right.
like if you're talking about like comic books and stuff like that, like, you
Yeah.
know, think about all the stories that they've been able to tell in comic books and like there's different authors for different, you know, books and things like that. So it's like
Movies, right.
why hasn't George R. R. Martin like built this like team
He should
to
be
like
working with
help.
someone to make this
Yeah.
movie. He should be working on this
Yes.
show. Warner Brothers should be doing this. Netflix should have
Well,
the
yeah, but
spin-off.
even
Yeah,
like just writing the books, you know,
right.
like have like
A
a
team
team
of
of,
writer. Yeah,
you
something,
know,
something,
I don't know,
something.
pump stuff out, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right, man. Let's jump into this episode. Just initial thoughts off the bat. I mean, you hopped on the call and said better. We're in.
Yes,
We're
yes.
liking it. So
I'm in and I'm like sad that it's like, dang, this is gonna be so quick. How many you said six
6. So we have
episodes?
4 more. Yeah, this is it. We're
Four
we're
more and
almost.
like it was good. I was like, all right, I'm digging this. Like it
Mhm.
felt like you were watching an episode of Game of Thrones, but like you know how like you know in some episodes they kind of stay on certain arcs longer, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? So like,
Yep.
you know, if they're staying like on an arc for like 10 to 15 minutes, you're like, oh dang. And then you're like, oh snap. Like then they flip to something and then you feel like, dang, that episode is mad long because you know
We've
all
got
this stuff
4
happened.
stories that we have to pay attention to. Right.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. And so this one it felt like an extended like just,
Mm-hmm.
you know, scene of a guy and like it
Right.
was cool like to just see all the different people that he started to encounter, all the different and we can get into that. But like it just once I started seeing characters and names and I was like,
We're
"Oh,
building the world. Yep. Yep. Yep.
Like
Yep.
lore makes like
Yep.
keeps me going when
Yep.
I see this." So like
Yeah.
I really I enjoyed it and there was like quite a few like funny moments, you know what I
Yep.
mean? You know, it started crazy, but I'm
So,
like,
well,
come on.
we'll get into that in 1 second. But yeah, I think I'm on the same path. I did see a tweet that was like, especially with what we've seen for like what's coming next week and this week and last week. It's I think it's kind of obvious that like these first 3 episodes this week and then next week, obviously too, will kind of be the first 3 of the lighthearted, and then the back end, like
Okay.
episode 4, 5, and 6, are gonna be like he's got armor on, we're
Okay.
fighting, there's stakes, like it's kind of gonna be like the tournament's starting. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know if you
yeah.
noticed, but like the tournament, we're like 2 episodes
I
in, and
know.
we still haven't had. We're still trying to figure out if he can actually be in the tournament. So like
Exactly.
people are
Yeah.
still showing up. So yeah. So I think I'm down to. I love it. I think it's a couple funny zingers, a couple serious
Hmm.
moments. I know exactly where my extended scene would go to make this 45 to 50 minutes long. And I mean, it's crazy. Do you think, jumping right in, Los, are we starting off every episode of this
Oh
series
my gosh.
with some form of
Male
male?
gen
Like, I feel like
yeah.
next week we're getting close up of some guy's balls that are like really swollen or something from a horse kicking them, or like what? Like we
Yeah, like
can't.
why did we go there? And I'm like, and and you watch, if you're watching it with your lady, you know what I'm saying?
She's got to look at
Oh,
him, then she's got to look at you and wonder
yeah, and I'm and
why.
I'm like, and
Like
I'm like, come on, man. Like, all right,
so
relax.
the showrunner did an interview, and I guess apparently 9 times out of 10, just to protect the anonymity and just whatever of the actor in said roles, he's 9 times out of 10 they'll wear a prosthetic.
Yes, 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 yes.
And so, but he said he's pretty sure that the guy who plays Sir Aaron just showed up to set, and that was what they were.
I don't
That's
know
what we
about
were.
that. I
That's
don't know about
he said
that, man.
he can't remember for sure, but he's almost positive that he might have just walked on the set that way. And so
Oh yeah, I don't know. No
we'll
comment,
see.
man.
But I mean, so Sir Arland, we kind of get this
Oh
background
my God,
montage.
yo.
I really liked how like it was kind of apparent a minute in that like this was obviously Dunk explaining
Hmm.
him to these people, and then
Yep,
getting
yep.
those background moments. Go ahead. What you got?
No,
Yeah,
I'm just saying, like
yeah.
it's just because I made that point last week that like, yo, we're gonna find out that this dude was not anybody, like
No,
no,
no, right. No, and
like
we've
and
yep,
and it's coming to fruition,
yeah.
and it's like, oh man, and like and because Dunk is like perceived as dumb, like
Uh-huh.
is it like is he like really rooting for this guy, or is he so dumb to realize like no, this guy was not a knight at all, like he was
I
never
think
a
so. No,
knight.
I think that's exactly what it was.
He's just that dumb.
I
Like,
think it was a situation where Sir Erlen told Dunk all these stories. He was a storyteller. He said, "Oh, I battled in the battle with the Targaryens, and oh, you back in my day, we would go to war with the Baratheons, and he would tell them stories. None of them were true. I'm almost and so
mhm.
that's how Dunk knows to go to these and he's like, my lord, he was with your father in this one battle. Like I would never forget him telling me that story. Why would he lie to me? It's a knight's duty to be honorable.
Yes.
And I think just what we're like I mentioned last week, it's a what we have fallen into is just a scam of it's a big enough lie that like, oh yeah, I knew him. You know what? You're right. I do have a fuzzy memory of that actually
Yeah. But
happening.
but it's like
And it
innocent on Dunk's part. Like he's not being malicious. Like
no,
like
and I
he's
don't
not
right.
he's
And I
not trying to
think
get one over on anybody.
and
Like
s-
he's just been
and so
led to believe this his whole life.
yeah, and not jumping all the way to the end, but do you think at the end of this episode he realizes that like
Yeah,
he
yeah,
thought
yeah.
like this was
Oh yeah.
he the epiphany was like, holy shit, this motherfucker lied to me his whole life. He wasn't a great guy. He just woke
Had no
up. He
friends.
whored
Like
around, right?
yep,
Just
yep,
slang his dick
yep.
wherever. Like it's yeah okay. It's very, very, very interesting to kind of see him realize that and kind
Yes.
of, but also set his own path and kind of almost do the same thing, but
Yep.
in an honorable, but as best as he can with the resources he has, right? So
Right, right.
yeah, I mean, that was I think that was cool.
That
That
was
was a cool
cool.
part of
Yeah.
the episode.
Yeah. Cause yeah,
And then
he was asking every house, like you could hear this last name, that last,
uh-huh,
and I'm like,
uh-huh,
wow,
uh-huh.
like this, nobody knows this
Well,
guy. You know?
and then so right after he gets rejected from the fourth or fifth guy that Dunk is talking to, Egg again with the zinger. I need a book of Egg
He was
zingers.
he was a shit night.
He was like, are you sure he wasn't just a shit night? Like, what are you talking about? Like, boy, watch your mouth. Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's
don't talk about
just
my old head like that. Yeah,
yeah,
don't talk about my old head like that.
and this was the moment where I realized and remembered our conversation last week. I immediately turned on my closed captions,
Oh yeah. Oh, I
just
was on it. I
because,
was on it this week. I was on
yeah,
it.
and I read everything,
It
which
was
was
super clear.
so much
It
better.
was
Yep.
great. It was
And,
it was amazing.
and an Egg, I mean, just again with the second line, Egg is like, dude, just F the permission, just go sign up and turn
Just
their assholes into joust holes. And it's like,
yeah, like what? Assholes.
for
Yeah,
a,
he's spitting like, you know what I mean,
yes, yes,
a wise
yes,
man, a
yep.
wise young man.
And then the horn goes off, and everyone knows that this means the Targaryens, the Kardashians are showing up for their situation. And so, man, this is why I really like this episode more than the last one. And I love it. I love it when shows do this, when movies do this. Last week, I said, does Egg know who he is? Does Egg know he's a Targaryen? Does he know his lineage? Does he know his power? And
Yes,
all it took was for them in this episode to give him
yes,
that look. When he saw those banners flying,
yes,
he made that look and said, "Hey, I got to go back to camp. Like,
yeah.
I'll see
Like
you in a minute. I can't deal. I can't be around these people." He knows, and I'm curious to see how that whole thing plays out. Like, why?
well, now it makes me question where is this actually taking place? Because if it's King's Landing, like the Targaryen, wouldn't they be there all the time or most of the time? You know?
Yeah, I think it's probably, I would imagine it's at least a horseback ride away. So maybe a
Yeah,
few
yeah,
hours or a day or two.
yeah,
I'm not 100% sure. I know they'd mentioned the city or town that it was in last
yeah,
episode, but I don't know where that is on the map compared to
yeah, for
where we're
sure, for
at.
sure.
So now I have so many more questions. Like, why
Yes,
did he run
yes,
away? Where was he abandoned? What does it mean if he goes back? Because he's clearly scared. Like, if he's
yes,
around them, they'll recognize him. And
yes.
so,
Yeah,
which is again interesting because him knowing where he's from and who he is, he didn't assume that the Targaryens would show up at this tournament. So then
yeah,
why
yeah.
he is so desperate to be with Dunk at the tournament? Like if he
It
doesn't,
is, it is strange because it's like, yeah, like, do you want to be found? Because you can't explore the world
right?
and be a part of some big tournament like this
Yeah,
if
yeah,
you got to see your people
yeah, yeah,
eventually.
yeah.
So,
So the Targaryens show up, and I mean Dunk's jaw's on the floor. It's like royalty has just entered the
hmm
room.
yeah,
And I didn't realize he was going to play this card, but I guess as soon as he saw their banner wave, he thought, well, this is my last shot. Let me shoot my shit with the Targaryens and see if I can
yeah,
get into this tournament.
yeah.
Like,
Like he went to the top. Like
crazy plan, right? Crazy plan.
yeah.
I thought of Baratheon. Why can't Baratheon vouch for this man?
Well, this guy
Well,
is a flaky guy.
we're
Yeah,
gonna
we'll
get
get
to
into
him
that.
in a minute, but so the Targaryens show up, and I think this is so funny. They kind of did this when Jon Snow met Dany in the main series. They introduce her as like 19 titles. You know what I mean? Like they're like, hey, it's Baelor Targaryen, hand of the king, second in throne to the second kingdom, leader of this land, ruler of this land, blah 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 blah.
Blah 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 blah.
And then, oh yeah, it's his brother Maker, however you say his name. He says, oh yeah, and his brother Maker Targaryen, and then
Maker. Yeah,
Maker
yeah.
Targaryen, and just cuts to him, and it's nonsense. And so, and then the little blonde spitfuck Aerion, I think is how you say it, right? Aerion Targaryen.
Okay. Yeah.
He meets Dunk. He tells him to deal with this horse. He's like, I'm not a stable guy. He tells him to fetch him a pail and a girl, and he's like, well, I'm not a servant either, dude.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so he's just. It's always the belittling of Duncan is just this. It's a very interesting. His attire doesn't necessarily, I guess, match what a knight should be. And so we got to see the Kingsguard uniform. A lot of people online are excited about this. It's like the first time in a Game of Thrones series that it's actually like white and
Okay.
shiny. I guess that's how it's represented in the books.
Okay,
In
okay.
the main series, it was kind
Yeah,
of
it did look a little bit different. What was it? What was it in House of the Dragon? What did it
House of
look
the
like?
Dragon. It's a little more silver, but it's not.
Okay.
It's not as white. It's not as pearly. Kind of this. I think
Yeah.
they're saying that this is like the best representation of it.
Ah.
Um, and just another reminder in this series, again, this episode, when one of those knights asks, like, is there a proper place to go to the bathroom? And he's like, no, it's just kind of the hay bales over there. Uh,
What that tells you that Dunk doesn't know because he's not
right.
of you know what I mean, like he doesn't even have access
Yeah.
to
The
proper like
bathrooms. Right.
yeah, so he's just used to going outside. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
It's
yeah.
just a very interesting, like, class
Yep.
differential there. So, and then he sneaks in. I wasn't sure like what the purpose of sneaking in was. I wasn't sure where that conversation was going to go. It would then again seem like they did the same thing when we introduced Dunk to the Lionel Baratheon. Like it seemed like he was in trouble, but
Yes,
then he
yes.
just gives him everything he wants. Like it's very interesting. I didn't expect that to go
Oh,
that way.
when he's talking to Baylor.
Yes, yeah, when he's talking to the Targaryens in the room, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, yeah. You know, he's trying to be sneaky, and then they definitely heard him, and yeah, it was interesting that like everything kind of went in his favor, and it just seems like yeah, he's just like that dumb lucky fool, you
Right,
know,
right.
and that keeps falling up. You know what I mean? Actually,
Do you think Targaryen actually generally remembers Sir Arland?
that's interesting because he kind of like
Or do you think
he said a lot to seem like he confirmed. So now maybe looking back, it's like, oh, he was playing around, but like he convinced me, you know, when I was watching it, he definitely convinced me. And I was thinking, like, oh, snap, okay, like this guy is at least he existed, but he didn't remember this because remember he corrected him. He was like, oh yeah, it went through like 7 and he's like, no, it was 4,
and
you
then
know, like
again, just another proving point that Sir Arlen would just make up and embellish. Like, oh, I caught a
mhm.
4-inch fish. No, it was 4 feet. Like, let's, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and so I do think he probably does remember him
Mhm.
because you know he seems to be the one that can. Even his brother was like, "Man, how you remember some random dude,
Yeah.
whatever?" And he's like, "You know,
Mhm.
that's who I am. You know, like that's I got to be on point.
Yep.
I got to know everybody." So yeah, no, I think he does know him, but like it's just with Sir Arlen the way he tells his stories. It's like now it's like maybe there is some truth, but like obviously there's we know that he spends stuff to exaggerate a lot. So
Yeah.
that was cool though.
So then immediately after just getting signed and ready to go, he can join the tournament. We immediately cut to him seeing the girl in the play again, and we learn her name.
So it's
Good.
crazy because now I wonder if we have what made it interesting about that is like who is she just a common girl or does she have like some type of like can she see like prophecies or something like that because really they're telling his story, you know what I mean, like that play was about like that play is
I noticed that. I
and I was like, wait up. I was
noticed
like he doesn't realize. I'm like, bro, that's
it's
you're laughing
about
at that, but like
you.
that's kind of like about you, even though nobody knows you. But I'm wondering,
I
like,
realized
is
that.
this girl kind of like mystical? Maybe you know
Mm,
how like you know how there's always those people like
right.
remember like Damon's first little girlfriend, whatever.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
how like she was into
Sh-
like a witch kind
Yeah.
of,
The
you know, so like
witches can see the future. The three-eyed
yeah.
ravens.
Yeah, so I
The
wonder if she has something, or if she know, like, if her people are of
mm,
something to where, like, like, where does this story come from? You know what I
right.
mean? Because I felt
She's
like there's a lot of parallels to
she's
this
putting on
guy.
a play that's Duncan's life.
Yeah, like
Right.
I thought that was dope. I was like,
Right.
ah,
See,
and
now I'm gonna have to go back because I wasn't paying attention to the play the first time in episode 1. So I'm gonna have to go back
yeah,
and
me
watch
neither.
that play scene to see what the words were, what the topics of it all. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Smart. Yeah. Interesting. So we learn her name's Tonsil. Tonsil Too Tall, they used to call her back in high school. And she agrees to help him out. You know what I mean? They like each other. They're kind of flirting a little bit. He drops the ball. You know what I mean? He's awkward. He's goofy. He doesn't
Hmm.
probably hasn't talked to a woman like in a serious manner his entire life, right? Like,
So it's crazy because with that, I thought she was gonna make a comment about his smell because everybody else has been making a comment about his
uh-huh.
smell. You know what I mean? So
Interesting.
I was like thinking like, oh, like she gonna say something like, oh man, maybe we need to get you a bath or something like that,
Ah,
and like she didn't give him nothing. So I'm like, all right, she's either used to being around funky
I was
ass
gonna
dudes
say, I
or
can't. I can only imagine even the knights and all of the other people that are there sleeping in tents. I can't imagine that like the all of the other knights at the pub day drinking with Baratheon and everyone else like smell that great either. It's a very
But I
interesting.
think you have access to different things because they
Okay.
be having like them bathhouses and
Sure. Yeah.
stuff like
Okay.
that.
Okay.
Like, yeah, I think you just when you have money, you
Right.
can get
You
you
can
can
pay a
stay in an
token to go.
inn,
Right. Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
and then they probably got baths and stuff there. So,
Right.
but like,
Like a
yeah,
lady obeyed you. Right.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, but like
True.
he's in the bushes, so he don't know. Like nobody else is in the bushes. Everybody else got somewhere to stay, some
Right.
type of encampment.
Right.
So
Right. So then we cut to him and Egg. They're sitting on a bench and they're kind of there's a couple moments in this interaction between him and Egg that are just that make their chemistry together, I think. What is honestly making a big majority of this show great is like, him being like, did I drop the ball with her? Like
yeah.
that could have gone better. And
Yeah, what was the
then
what was the word that he said? How did he describe it? I forget. But he used a specific word and he was like, was it he didn't say awkward, but it was like it meant awkward, and you're like
yeah, 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 yeah.
he's
Yeah.
like, nah man, shoot your shot, bro. Y'all both tall.
Yeah,
Like
right. Yeah,
get
yes.
at her.
Yeah. And then Egg was like, he was like, looking for some advice. He was like, people call me scrawny, so I'm probably never gonna be a good knight. And then Dunk goes, well, yeah, people call me stupid a lot. And then Egg just
Yeah,
sitting
he just
there
stops there.
waiting for the advice to come. Like, yeah, they call you stupid, so what? Like, what? How do you overcome that? And
Yeah.
he's like, what? And then Egg's like, what? And that's and it just kind of
Yes, that was good. That
kind
was
of
great.
shows that Duncan is a little slow, doesn't get a couple of the social cues he should, but I think that's what makes him a great character. And
Yep.
then in walks what I think. I mean, bro, I don't know how you feel about this man, but he's quickly becoming my like top. I need him in every episode.
What,
I don't
Baratheon?
Baratheon. I mean, he is
This guy's
I
a weird. He's crazy.
he's a diva. He's got a vibe about him. I think he's a little gay. I
Yeah. Oh yeah.
think
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think and him just coming up, grabbing Dunk, they do the tug of war, and 2 seconds in, my man
He
gets
leaves.
thirsty.
He said, "I'm thirsty."
He's
Like,
like,
what?
what? And he keeps saying it. Egg is just hanging there, not doing anything to help the team.
Yeah.
Baratheon
Yeah.
comes
I don't know why
in.
he's there. Like,
So this is where I'm at. If you're telling me that like just during the day we're day drinking and playing mini games with each other, I wanted that. I wanted this whole thing, this whole scene to be another 10 to 15 minutes of
okay.
Egg, Dunk, and Baratheon taking on the mini games. They beat the tug of war, they beat the
Yes.
medieval cornhole or the axe
Yes.
throwing or
Yeah. Yeah.
whatever
Yeah.
they do to like make time pass because we're still waiting on the Targaryen boys to show up. We're still waiting on people to get permission to actually be in the tournament. So
Yes.
we're kind of hanging out before the whole shindig begins. I would have loved that. I would have
Yes.
loved to see them just like have a day drinking day together, playing medieval soccer games in the mud or something. Like just say, yeah, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's dope. But like even like now, because I'm thinking we're getting towards the end of the episode. But
Hmm.
to rewind, like the big thing about him, Darren giving him permission,
Yeah.
but he also took something from him. So it was interesting how like Dunk, like he does fall forward a little bit and he
Hmm.
stumbles into some things, but it's like even though he's going,
Step or two
two
back.
steps
Yep.
forward, he's going at least a step back. And he told him, he said, "Well, wait up." but you're not his blood, right? You're
Mm-hmm.
not like I remember him, but like you can't use his sword
Yeah.
or his
His
armor,
shield,
and
his
or yeah,
crest, his
the
crest. Yeah.
crest.
Yep.
So yeah, he had to get the new crest, and that's
Yep.
how he fumbled when he was talking to the girl. But
Mm-hmm.
like where like he had to sell a horse.
Yep.
We see he had to sell a horse.
Yep.
But like, does he have enough money to get a sword? Because we see him trying to get some armor, but like,
I don't
does
know
he have
if
enough to get a sword?
I don't. I don't remember hearing that he couldn't use the sword. I thought it was just
Yeah,
the
he
crest.
said no.
Okay.
He said you can't. He said you can't use his sword.
Okay. Okay. I'm not sure then. I'll let me go back and double check on that.
Yeah, and I
Okay.
was like, dang, he ain't got no
Well,
weapon. Like
so right, so that takes us to him. He needs the armor, and he has to sell his horse. By the way, little background, little behind the scenes. Those horses' names. The one he sold, his name was Sweetfoot, and then he
hmm.
still has Chestnut and Thunder. And so, yeah, basically, here's the situation. If he doesn't win this tournament and go back and buy that white horse again, and the ending scene, the final scene of this entire season is not him on the white horse riding off to the next town with Egg after they just won, I'm riding. I'll call the whole season a wash. If we don't get the horse back, it's game over for R.R. Martin. I can't do it. So we got to get that back. We got to get Sweetfoot back. But you're right. So he exchanges some coin and some of his old gear that Sir Erland it doesn't fit him, obviously. So he kind of gives that into trade.
hmm.
And he's going to be getting just like a basic helmet and some basic armor, which is great. That's good. He needs that. He needs that to move on. We need that to do. So that'll obviously come to play in the next few episodes. And then all of a sudden, the final horn of the episode goes off, and it's like this is the opening kind of ceremony event of
Yes,
the
yes,
tournament. Now, I don't know about you. I know I mentioned it last week. Big fan of A Knight's Tale here.
yes.
I've only ever seen jousting depicted and on just watching it 1v1.
I know this was like a
This
battle royale,
this
man. It was
battle royale
five
Fortnite.
on
Once
five, four
you're
on four.
done, you go get another one and run right
Yeah,
back.
that
You
was
fall
lit.
into a lane, you get smashed on the ground.
Yeah, that
That
was lit.
that
That
was
was lit.
cool. Yeah.
That was a cool scene. I was like, all right, like that's what I'm saying. Like we got action, we
Yeah.
got drama, we got humor,
Yeah.
we got, some backstory, some lore. Like this
Yeah.
episode
Yeah.
overall was like it was 10 times better than the first
Yeah.
episode, but it was like, all right, this is I can buy into
Well,
this.
and we're
And
getting, and we're now just also, I think, just due to that scene alone, just a little bit of a nugget. We're kind of seeing and we're getting the boys' realizations of where they're at. Egg is excited. He's ready for battle. He wants
Mhm.
to freaking see everybody win. He's taking them on. And Duncan just, I think, shit his pants. Like watching those chat, like, how is he going to do
Yes.
any of this? And it just coming to then just the end of the episode and his realization of like, I'm nothing. I'll probably never be. I've always been nothing. And unless
Yes.
I win this tournament, that's all he'll ever be. And it's time to get to work. You know what
It's
I
time to
mean?
get to work. Yep. It's
We're
time to get busy.
gonna, yeah, we gotta huckle down. We gotta bunker down. We gotta sell a horse. We gotta get some armor, and we gotta win some shit. So, I am extremely excited for the rest of the season. I think
Yes,
I
me too,
think a
man.
good job to pull us in for episode 2. It's always hit or miss with those episodes 2. Just to kind of, see where the rest of the
Yeah,
season's going.
they've gone. Yeah, I remember in the past, like Game of Thrones has gone like kind of slow on their episode twos. Yeah, you're right.
So, another kind of just small, teeny tiny fun fact. Maker is the great grandson of Daemon Targaryen, and he has his
Yep.
dagger.
Yeah, because Darren is the great grandson of Daemon and Rhaenyra,
Hmm.
but Darren is also Daenerys's grandfather, I believe.
Yeah. Sure.
So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so that means that Darren, right, one of his kids
Uh-huh.
is the Mad King.
Okay. Right.
And I heard the name Eris, but I'm like, it could be Eris, whatever. You know what I'm
Right. It's
saying?
there's right. The Targaryens, they have the
So
same
so
names. Yeah.
so I wonder
Okay.
if we see Eris at any point in time.
Uh-huh.
So you're saying that the young Targaryen that we saw, the hot shot, he looks kind of like young Rhaenyra. What's his name
So
again?
no, that
Arian. His name is
is
Arian.
yes, that's Aryan.
And so who is his father?
I
Is
don't
it the
know.
king?
I
Okay.
don't know who Aryan's father is. I can
Okay.
find
I
that
just wonder.
out. But yeah, yeah. It's
That's
just a fun fact. So
crazy. This is
he has
yeah,
Damon's
like
dagger. Yeah.
we are. What's up?
I said, well, it's just you can see the main point of just me bringing all that up was just him. You can see that Maker has Damon's dagger on his belt that we just saw
Ah,
Damon have in House of the Dragon. Just obviously
nice.
got passed down. So
It's
there's
amazing, bro.
my
It's amazing.
mind is blowing, and it's just kind of what's funny is we get a line from I forget who he is. We saw him in episode 1, but Dunk is talking to like the cousin of the one night guy prince that like got beat over the fence in episode 1. They talked a little bit in episode 1. He's the one who invited him into Lionel's tent.
Okay.
So he's talking to him again in episode 3 next week, and he's explaining like who the Targaryens are. And
Yeah.
he's like, basically, they just like came in, they took over, and they're a bunch of like incestual alien freaks who just bang each other. And so you can't, I will never want to understand it. I will never begin to understand
Yeah.
the names and the parents, especially like it was over for the whole family. Whoever the first Targaryen family member was to name one of their children after another Targaryen that was already, because once we start having the same names, you can't.
I know, right? Yeah. The fifth,
Just
the sixth.
fam, it just took me until last week for me to fully wrap my head around the fact that House of the Dragon is first. This is
Yes.
100 years after that.
Yes.
And then Game of Thrones is 100 years after that. I
Yeah,
finally got
it's like 78 years, but yes,
I
yes.
finally got my head wrapped around that timeline, let
Yep.
alone what Targaryens are showing up and who and what. It's what's also interesting about this too is, correct me if I'm wrong, but oh no, maybe the Lannisters did, but I could have sworn whenever, especially in the house, maybe not. No, correct me if I'm wrong, because I think I am. But in House of the Dragon, and then also too, sometimes in the Game of Thrones, when a Targaryen was the king or queen of the Seven Kingdoms, was their hand another Targaryen? Like I know, obviously, Tyr maybe
Not all the time
yeah,
because obviously what's his name?
like the blacks, yeah,
Yeah, the blacks and the greens, whatever.
yeah,
So his hand was Otis, or
right.
what's his name? Otis.
You got it. I know who you're talking
Yeah,
about. Yeah, the
yeah,
old
yeah,
guy.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah. So it not all the time.
yeah.
It has to be.
I just thought that and maybe
The
again,
hand is not always the second in line. The hand is
right,
just like
right. I thought that, and that's what I thought. The hand is like a demoted kind of like it's like you're kind of like the king's assistant, and it's like
you are, but like it doesn't have to be. You don't have to be related.
right, and that's what, and
Yeah.
I would have assumed that it would be a below, like belittling to a Targaryen to be like the hand of the
Oh
king, where they should give that
yeah,
job to like another fan. But again, obviously not, because that's what we're doing here. It's just a fun
yeah.
little
I know.
fact
Yeah.
that sometimes they keep it in the family, sometimes they don't.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah,
I think it's because of who Baylor is. Like he's probably like, yeah, if you're like
second
a
in
second
line,
son,
right?
yeah, if you're a second son, then it's like, well, yeah, we gotta get you to do something. Or you could be the head of the Knights Guard or King's Guard, but then you're like, then you can't have no women, like then you can't reproduce
Yep.
and have a legacy. So
Yeah. And so then obviously next week we got a trailer. Did you watch next week's
I did
trailer?
not, because it was weird. Like I felt like it didn't show me the trailer, and it just skipped to some other show, and then I was like, "Oh snap!" So no, I didn't even see it.
So it's basically the trailer opens with like Dunk and Egg. They're having breakfast, and Egg's like, "Hey, you're definitely like we're gonna be friends after this, right?" Like he's still trying to like cement his employment with Dunk. And Dunk's like, yeah, he's like, if you're strong enough, and then it cuts to Egg like not being able to lead the horse because the horse is 10 times bigger than Egg, and it's just a little comedic aspect there. We
I can't
see
even-
we see Baratheon with his shirt off, so obviously more sexy time with him, thank God. And the jousting in the event begins. I think by the end it gets a little the beginning of next week's episode will probably be kind of have the same vibe, same pace of these
Yeah.
last two, and I think towards the end it's gonna pick up, and we're gonna start seeing some things. The trailer ends with a zinger. It's them in the field by the tree, Eggs in the tree. Dunk says, "Hey, it's time. Go get my armor." And then all you hear is like a fly buzzing around him because of how bad he smells. Cuts to Dunk in the tree, and Dunk says, "Right now?" And obviously he says, "Yes, fucking right now. Go get it." Like it's just so just I think one more episode of the fun humor before
starts
we
getting
get
serious.
to the seriousness of the night scenes. We see Egg like running through the mist with a joust as if it's like, his life depends on it. So it's a little more drama.
I'm excited, man.
Yeah, me too. Here's a question for you, just kind of out the gate. Going back to the Targaryens and them showing up, the horn goes off, the flags, they come in, they're announced, the hot young boy, the two older ones. I didn't feel the vibe from them. I didn't feel like
Okay.
the like every time we've seen a Targaryen before them, like obviously the House of the Dragon, like Rhaenyra has that vibe, Damian has that vibe, Viserys, like they had a vibe about them. They were in charge, they had power, they just had this swagger kind of whenever they went somewhere. And then Game of Thrones obviously too. When Daenerys showed up, it was nothing but she had swagger. That's why she worked. That's why she took over kingdoms, because she had a swagger about her.
You're right.
And
You're right.
these three guys that showed up, I didn't really.
So I'm gonna tell you why, because and they explain this because again I was getting into all the lore. So
Okay.
Darren the Good, the king, he's called Darren the Good because his reign is like one of the most peaceful times that there is in Westeros. So like there's no struggle for power. There's no political like angst. There's no like political strife and conflict with one another. So like it's like they're kind of just living in bliss. And so this series is like it's convenient that they make this series like in during this time, because this is when it is lighthearted and because the reason why everybody had that swagger is because everybody's fighting for power. In House of the Dragon, it's a struggle for power, and we know in the main Game of Thrones, it's just a struggle for power. Like there actually is no Game of Thrones right now.
Whoa, dude!
There is no Game of Thrones right now.
The game doesn't exist yet.
Nah, it's no game right now. We're not playing right now. It's just a night in the Seven Kingdoms.
Oh, and here's the other thing.
There's no struggle. Like nobody's trying to usurp nobody. Everybody is playing their position. Everybody's like, nah, shit,
we're just having fun in a tournament. It is what it
tournament
is.
time.
And also too, these Targaryens don't have dragons.
And that part too, and that's why it's interesting. It's interesting that they have this rule right now, because they don't have dragons. So it's like nobody has
stepped up.
Well, it helped. It takes like 78 years later when
Daenerys gets
the Mad King like goes kind of crazy. Well, I guess even before that, I guess he goes crazy like because Daenerys is how old when we see her first? How old is Daenerys when we see her first? Like 18 years old,
something like that.
Old.
The first season's a blur for me. Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously 17 years before that, her dad went crazy and
right.
He wanted some crazy stuff. So this is also too this time period is like when Dorne actually becomes like they actually failed to take over Dorne, but they bring it into the Seven Kingdoms, but obviously under their provisions where the people in Dorne could still be called princes. Nobody can be the king over there, but like they're not just lords. They're prince this, they're prince that, even though they don't have a kingdom. But yeah, like that's what's happening in this time period. Like it's a lot of peace and just prosperity, And yeah, that's why we get to have this little fun series in between. So
Yeah, no, I just I have to
it's
continue to remember that
yes,
because it's
yes,
like as soon
yes.
as you hear horns go off and the Targaryen banners are waving their flags, within 30 seconds, Damien's cutting someone's head off,
Yep. Oh
or a
yeah.
peace
Yep.
treaty and
Yep.
then cutting someone's head off, or like it's just and it just it's go time. Like if the
Yep.
Targaryens are showing up to your city, your town, your building, or whatever it is, something's going on and it's go time. Except
Yeah.
for,
This
and
is
I
like
just
90 years after the
gotta
Civil
get out of
War,
that. Right.
basically.
Gotta
Yep.
get
This
out
is
of that.
like
Yeah.
yep. Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
That's so interesting. It's so cool,
Yeah.
man.
And
Like,
it's like, but bro, I mean, that's gotta be just going all the way back to the very beginning of this entire episode. Our episode is like that. I mean, that's got to be such a mental strain on the author. I mean, I know
oh my
we give George
God.
R. R. Martin all this shit for like not completing the books, like bitch,
For
just
sure.
write the books. But like he even said, I think he'll go back. Like when he takes breaks, he has to go back and read the last chapter he wrote, and like he would say, oh well, it was a Jon Snow chapter, but that chapter changes the entire course of the entire series thus far. So now I got to go back and rewrite that because we can't have that be the inevitable outcome of the final series. And it's just like,
But that I think that's what makes it interesting. Like
yeah,
I know people like hate when they change the books and things like that, but I
mhm,
think with Game of Thrones, like cuz even me, like I'm looking at stuff, right? Like I don't know the books, but I'm looking up and getting these summaries
yeah,
of kind of the history, and I'm watching the show still interested because I know that they're gonna make some type of change, whatever. So it's like the entertainment is not getting a regurgitation of
hmm,
what you know. The entertainment is how do they still land that mark, right? But change it, and like how do they make that entertaining, you know? So and I think that's what like George R. R. Martin has to like realize. It's like no, it's not supposed to be a word for word,
yeah,
you know, depiction of what you now we gotta go here, we gotta make this character do this, we gotta make this character do that because it just looks better on the screen.
yeah.
And you gotta let go. Like if you're gonna do it, then you gotta let go of it a little bit. So you know, as long as you're getting your money, yeah,
Yeah,
fine.
I feel like now, and I don't think either of us were prepared to say this last week, but I feel like now, well, I mean, you kind of said you were a little upset by it, but I feel like now, especially with where we've been, where we're gonna go, the storytelling, just falling in love with these characters already. We're already in that
Yeah, yeah,
world because it's
yeah,
just them nonstop, every single scene.
yep,
I mean, it's these next 4 weeks are going to be incredible. But then as soon as the finale's done, I'm irritated. I'm livid.
oh
I'm
yeah, I know.
pissed.
Oh my
Season
god.
2 isn't coming probably till like 2028 or some HBO bullshit. The merger will probably hold up season 2. Whatever
Oh my
excuse. I don't
god,
give a
you're
shit.
right,
You know
you're
what I
right,
mean? Like
you're right.
it's going to be a very interesting roller coaster ride when we're so high off of this show. Like, yeah, I think we'll probably at the end see Dunk get knocked down by a Targaryen. He might have lost, but then whatever the ending may be,
Yeah, yeah,
it'll kind of still be a high, I think, for our two main characters. And then they're throwing us right into the biggest, most bloodiest battle we've ever seen with like episode 1 of House of the Dragon season 3.
yeah,
By
yeah,
God. I mean, this will be, it's going to be an emotional roller coaster of HBO this year, I feel.
yeah,
It
yeah. I'm
is,
excited, man. It's crazy. It is so
it's
crazy.
worth it. I mean, do you think that this just kind of last bit, then we'll kind of hop off here, but do you, out of all the streaming platforms, do you think HBO is the one that's worth the most money? I mean, I know you're big on sports, so you probably have opinions in that realm of how you watch them currently, but as far as just overall entertainment, TV shows, movies, streaming service, is HBO up there? Is that
HBO is up there, and it's crazy because they really had the opportunity to take over with sports too, because you would have access to TNT, but it's like it seems like
mm,
yeah, TNT once they got, I guess what happened was their NBA contract ran out.
yeah.
So like TNT loses the NBA.
Yep.
Yes, they went to college sports, and they got the college, and they got some college basketball, but it's still not the same. So it's like No, HBO had because yeah, when you watch all those different things, they have like the ID channel and they got Food Network and they do have like a good amount of IP
Yeah.
and they have a nice foothold and they could have had an even bigger foothold for CNN, like all that type of
Yeah.
stuff is connected to it.
Hmm.
But yeah, I guess they had to. I guess money talks, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what it is. It's like these things get so big, but then I don't know. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
That's
Interesting.
above my
I
understanding of money, I guess.
Yeah, no, I think it's definitely up there. I find myself on HBO a lot. I just watched all
I need
the
to go back to start watching HBO. Like when I get
yeah.
on there because of these seasons, I'm like, dang, there's so many things
Hmm.
I haven't watched in a while. But
Hmm.
I know if I watch it, it's gonna be great. I almost know it. Like
Yeah.
so yeah, I do got to get in. But no, HBO is up there. It's just I think it just you get used to what you're used to, and so yeah, I'm watching Netflix, checking out I'm checking out Hulu because I watch like certain things that are current.
Hmm.
Um, you know, yeah. So that's
ABC
yeah.
stuff. Yeah. It's I are you into I haven't started watching it yet, but there's a show I think on Paramount. It's called Landman. Have you seen
Nah,
that at all?
I never really watched none of the Paramount series,
Okay.
even though I hear and I guess that'd be like Paramount and Showtime or like,
Yeah.
they're part of, so yeah, I never watched none of the Paramount shows, to be honest with you.
Yeah, me neither. Okay. All right. Well, listen, man, great episode,
A great
great
episode, man.
week. I surely we would have loved to have more just in all the episodes, but this one especially. Um but at the end of the day, it's very funny how we'll all sit here and be like 30 minutes, dude, really? Like we couldn't get 45 to 50 to an hour. But when you watch it, these episodes in this show suck you in to create the
Yep.
illusion that by the time it's over, you don't I don't feel any different watching an episode of this
Yeah,
show than
no,
I
not
do House of the Dragon or Game of
yep.
Thrones. I don't realize I missed that much, and I think that's just because of
Well, not after this week. Like last week I felt that way, but this week I was like, no, even though it
okay,
was short,
yeah,
I was satisfied. I was like,
right,
all right.
right,
they did-
right. We got
I was
enough.
fed. I was like, all right, yep, y'all
A
did
little
that.
bit more character development each week is just as what we need. We got
Yep.
new people. We got zingers from people we never seen before. One last zinger just popped into my head when he was at the armory with little buddy, and he's like, yeah, obviously I'm gonna pay you. I'm gonna win this tournament. I'm gonna be the tournament champion. And he's like, what are all these other guys doing here, cheering you on? And it's like, it's just, it's a yeah.
Yep.
The comedy here we could probably do without the
Yeah, I
anything
don't need
below
that.
the waist of a man.
Yes.
Like
Yes. I don't need to see male
which is
bottom.
so strange. Which again is so strange to me, dude, because it's like they had this is a very I would imagine I would venture to guess that the majority of the demographic watching the show is anywhere from 80 to 90% men.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
so it's very interesting that that's the nudity they choose to show.
I know, man.
Interesting, yeah. All right, man. Well, what have we got to plug this week? We both dropped episode 220. Wad.
I know, man. Are you on 221 already? Did you drop 221?
No, we're synced up now. We have officially.
Okay, I
we're
know, and
officially
I'm like,
on the
I can't miss no more weeks. I can't miss no more weeks. I might have to do a bonus episode.
So well, right. I know there was a couple weeks there where I was like, I thought I was on like 218, but like so were you or something, and like I was like, did I skip a number? But then it's just holidays and sickness. We both kind of skip a couple weeks. It's fine, but
Yeah, it's
yes. So 280 plus podcast. Check that out.
Yes.
What Are We Doing podcast? Check that out. And man, until next time, social media, Instagram, YouTube, subscribe, watch the clips, be on the lookout. Instagram is where it's at. That's where we're posting all of the short form, the reels, and everything we talk about when it comes to A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, the latest series from HBO, and our boy George R. Martin. Los, anything else we missed? Anything else you'd like to add?
No, man, tune in, and we'll be back here next week with the hottest takes on A Night of the Seven Kingdoms.
Episode 3 next week. Episode 3, next week's episode is called The Squire. So interesting, maybe a little egg-centric, maybe a little more from Egg. Maybe some background.
What if we see like a world where we see a bunch of different squires, and then the other squires are picking on Egg because he's like so little, and you know what I mean? Like, what if they take us
like a little like all the squire, like a little an after party for the squires,
yeah,
and it's like them picking on Egg, not knowing he's a Targaryen, and he like put him on jail.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yep. That's my prediction. Yep.
I like it. We'll see what happens. Until next time, have a great week, everybody.
Peace.